watching the Star TV network.
By this time, Star was at its acme, its apex, its zenith. Star was now entirely owned by Murdoch, in a way that Sky wasn't. Star was already finding ways around the FTA to become a massive subscription television network, with Star Movies being a pure subscription channel emulating Sky Movies in the UK. The path was clear. As Asia was moving towards cable, Star stopped being a provider in a way and started acting more as a programmer, with an ever-increasing number of channels. On top of that was the setup of a series of deals with other companies to provide satellite services linked in a way to Sky. So as the 90s went from mid to late, it was like Channel City for the Star network. Aside from pure imperialism, they had decided that the only way to surpass the English language barrier issue, which turned out to be more trouble than they thought it would be, was to invest heavily in local language networks. Apparently, and perhaps perversely, a channel like Star Plus would only appeal to like 5% of the potential viewing audience. Star's prize back for India, ZTV, gained a second channel, LTV, which broadcasts in both English and a variety of India's several thousand regional languages. And more were promised, such as Z Cinema, the second Z-branded channel, initially acting as a Bollywood version of Star Movies. And wasn't just Z. In 1994, they launched the initially analog and later digital Indovision satellite package in Indonesia, of which Star had partial ownership at first. The deal with Indovision allowed it to have a Film Indonesia channel, which, as the name suggested, was all about Indonesian movies. A massive dispute about who ran it saw Star eventually withdraw in 1999, although later they had the terrestrial channel ANTV, but was neither here nor there. A similar channel opened in the Philippines in 1996 by the gigantic Viva Entertainment Group, who provided its movie catalogue under the umbrella name Viva Cinema. Also high on the list of targets was Japan. There was an extra wrinkle here connected with the fundamental unoriginality of the name, which is to say that there was and still is a Star channel in Japan, unrelated to the Pan-Asia network because it started in 1986. Murdoch had and has plenty of other brands up his sleeve, of course, and an ambitious project was gestated: an entire Sky-branded digital satellite operator for Japan, at a time when there was only one player over there in Perfect TV.
Too late!
Perfect TV.
The timing was carefully arranged as DirecTV was ready to hit Japanese shores. J-Skyb, as it was supposed to be called, was set to get there first. This was going to be the next in the line of satellite operators for the Asian region. In April 1996, they tested the waters with the setup of a Japanese version of Star Plus and the whole host of Sky-branded channels. J-Skyb had initially suggested a 150-channel offer, just like its competitor DirecTV. However, the plan relied financially on the News Corp SoftBank alliance of Fox and Henhouse, and when Masayoshi Son resigned from the latter, the deal fell apart, and the 150-channel J-Skyb with it. So was another plan for them to buy TV Asahi, because Masayoshi bought some of the network's assets, but that went down too. A hobbled Sky service that managed to scrape together an existence in Japan for a few months, until 2000, before, in an ironic reversal of the story of B-Skyb, a merger gave rise to Sky Perfect TV, a name that's still in use today. Can you imagine a timeline where BSB and the Squarials succeeded? Oh right, I was talking about the channels. The initial plan in September 1996 consisted of 12 licenses handed over to the Ministry of Internal Affairs and Communications. Sky News and Fox News straight from their respective countries, a Sky Music channel in partnership with Tetsuya Komuro, a proposed Japanese counterpart of the computer channel called Sky PC, a localized Star Plus, a localized Star Movies, Sky Movies for Hollywood imports, an offshoot called Sky Action Movies for what the name suggests, Sky Kids likely airing dubbed Fox Kids shows, and local versions of Sky 1 and Sky 2, with Sky 1 airing international content and Sky 2 airing locally made content. By the second half of 1997, the plan was cut to 6. The 2 news channels were kept. Star Plus / Asia TV was given the go-ahead. Channel V would have a Japanese flavour instead of Sky Music. Star Movies was renamed Sky Masterpiece, and Sky Sports actually launched. During much of JSkyB's existence, there was much swindling and playing with third-party companies. Sky Movies, which was initially going to be handled by JSkyB themselves, was later given to Sony in its initial attempts to conquer the linear television market, a market they first broke into the previous year in Singapore with the world's first AXN. There were 2 Sky-branded channels in partnership with News Corp, Sky Movies and Sky Cinema, both of which shut down in June 2001 and were merged with Star Channel. That's one launched in 1986, which had nothing to do with Murdoch's network, and of which Sony owned some shares. Sony's television business in Japan also continued to operate the separate AXN and Animax businesses, both of which are still under Sony's control in Japan. These 2 were sold off to KC Global Media and the rest of Asia. And don't forget SME TV, derived from their music label, who operated Music TV, later renamed Music On. Other companies got a look in too. Mainichi Broadcasting, owners of the TBS affiliate for Kansai, set up a company called Daybreak to carry a tennis channel. But then again, the company was dissolved in 2006. Then there was Digital Media Entertainment with an Asian dramas channel, and SoftBank, having remained independent from Murdoch, set up the computer channel, later channel BB, until it collapsed in 2005. Finally, there was the last company that joined Sky Japan, Fuji TV, who offer 2 entertainment channels, both of which are still operating on cable and satellite as Fuji TV 1 and Fuji TV 2. And as if JSkyB wasn't enough, they had plans for another operator, iSkyB. The I here stands for India. There was a snag in that the country had banned satellite operators in anticipation of the green light from the regulators. Will this have meant networks similar to Japan, mixing both the Sky and Star brands? We'll never know because they didn't succeed. They didn't succeed in getting any sort of iSkyB off the ground and continued life as a mere channel creator, at least until 2004 when they launched Tata Sky in association with the wealthy conglomerate Tata. And the rest is history. As the millennium was approaching, Subhash Chandra decided to put a halt to the alliance with Star and decided to finally emancipate ZTV as a separate business, one that is still lucrative and also gave way to the setup of the first satellite operator in India, Dish TV, in 2003. Suddenly bereft of a Hindi channel, Star was forced to create their own, effectively giving the existing Star Plus a new logo and a new name. Star World. At the same time, Star reorganized its regions to 4. The former North Beam effectively became a China region, even though it also included Mongolia and Central Asia, whereas the South Beam was divided in 3. The prize region was, of course, India and non-France, including television newcomer Bhutan. Everything west was part of the new Arabia sub-region, which spread as far as Morocco and got the Star Select package on orbit, which started about a year before Z's departure. Finally, Southeast Asia became a region in its own right, one that reverberated with the abstract concept of Asia in the minds of international media companies, most of whom were broadcasting from Singapore because 1. China has its own regulations, and 2. India, Japan, and Korea have their own localized feeds and channels. Star then realized that the only way to cut the loss of $500 million in the late 90s was to increase the content in local languages. For starts, Star set up a new channel for China, forcing the Star Chinese channel to move to Taiwan in 1996. The new Hong Kong and mainland service was to be known as Phoenix Television, and became so popular that it got at least 5 channels, including a news channel, a movie channel, and the Cantonese channel. Meanwhile, in India, it was more of a localization effort. The new Star Plus offered adaptations of European and American formats, adding up to the local Saas Bahus, or whatever they call the Hindi soap operas, including the British smash hit Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, here renamed Kaun Badega Crorepati, and hosted by Bollywood legend Amitabh Bachchan. After like 2 seasons, Star got bored with the format and moved to Sony, who by now were one of the big 3 of the Hindi television scene.
Entertainment Television, the best in Asian family entertainment.
They even launched a news channel with independent production company NDTV in 1998. But after 5 years, NDTV similarly got bored and set up its own Hindi and English news channels, forcing Star to swap NDTV for ABP. The channels were later sold off to ABP, and that's that. Well, into the new millennium, Star TV simply became Star. And by then they had consolidated itself so much that it was Asia's most recognized media brand, kind of like the television equivalent of Coca-Cola, and its trillions of consumers unaware that their products are doing harm to them. About 100 million people were watching at least one Star-branded television channel, and that also included channels that didn't have the Star name attached to it, such as the Asian versions of the National Geographic Channel and Adventure One. The many identities of Channel V and Granada UK TV, which was later sold wholesale to ITV plc and later renamed Granada ITV just to confuse you, and still later became ITV Choice and committed seppuku. The next big rejig was in 2009, and it alienated Star further from the Indian market and its diaspora, as the corporate name of the former Star TV, or the Arabian and Southeast Asian regions to be more accurate, was now Fox International Channels. The Star brand was still there in a couple of them, fortunately. Because India was its prized market from the outset, it was okay for them to continue calling their regional branch Star India instead of Fox International Channels India, and it was evidence that Star was a brand that the South Asians trusted. By now, the Indian division was led by Uday Shankar, a former Aaj Tak newsreader, and depending on who you ask, Shankar either improved or despoiled what was a perfect network. Of course, the biggest mistake he made was ruining Star Sports India by making it more traditional and concentrating more on cricket than the competition, effectively pissing off the neighbouring countries to no net benefit. By the early 2010s, the parent company behind the former Star TV that started it all absorbed into the international branches of Fox, almost every link with the former brand was effectively gone. Fox bought 50% it had in its joint venture with ESPN in 2012 and proceeded to rebrand all its sports channels as Fox Sports. The last remainder of the Star brand in Southeast Asia, Star World, shut down on the morning of October 1st, 2017, being replaced by a localized version of Fox Live. The brand remained on air in Arabia and Taiwan as separate feeds, with Star Sports and Star Movies continuing exactly as they were in China, and to a lesser extent Korea. The Star branding was now more of a thing of the past. Those 4 letters no longer stood for anything in particular. And then they thought Murdoch was unstoppable. Someone or something had to stop his influence.
Let's get together, let's get together. Let's get